What do you make of the VIP entrance?
So 400 euros well spent, I'd say, Alfie.
It's nothing to do with your brothel last night you're talking about.
There are 5 seat categories at UEFA Euro 2024. Fans first, which are the cheapest, followed by Category 3, Category 2, Category 1, and Prime seats, which are the most expensive. Fans First tickets start at €30, Category 3 tickets at €60, Category 2 tickets at €150, Category 1 tickets at €200, and Prime seats at a whopping €400. For the final, a Fans First seat will set you back €95 compared to €2,000 for a so-called Prime seat. I've got tickets in all 5 categories at this Euros, so I thought that it might be interesting to make a video comparing the 2 extremes, the cheapest and the most expensive tickets, at the biggest continental football tournament in the world. To put the €400 ticket into some context, my Hull City season ticket cost me £35 a month last season, or £420 a year, so only 23% more for an entire season of football, consisting of 23 home matches, than for one single Euro 2024 group stage game. And that is actually the most expensive non-hospitality season ticket at Hull City, because my dad still insists that we have to sit on the halfway line. The cheapest adult membership was just £342 at Hull City last season, so almost the exact same price as one prime seat group stage ticket at Euro 2024. I'll level with you, fine people of YouTube, I never planned on spending €400 on a football ticket because I haven't got lead poisoning, and that is quite obviously insane. There was a group of 11 of us trying to get tickets for the Euros, at especially England games, and between us, for whoever managed to get into the UEFA portal first, we only had one rule. Any category but Prime. It was a simple rule, they are obviously far too expensive, move on, and just focus on the other 4 categories. Next thing you know, this legend phones me up to tell me that he's only gone and carted 4 tickets to England versus Denmark in Frankfurt.
Back of the net.
And then asked me to transfer him £340 sterling.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
In fairness, what do you expect of a man who falls asleep for most of the second half of France versus Austria, despite us putting 2 raincoats over his head, and only wakes up when Austria have a clear penalty shout before pretending to have an opinion on whether or not it was a foul?
It's a thrilling game of end-to-end football here at the Merkerspiel Arena in Dusseldorf. The crowd are on the edge of their seats. Except Sam. Sam's asleep with two raincoats over his head. That was a big penalty. He's risen. Like Lazarus. He lives. That was actually a big shout for a penalty. VAR, were you looking at it? Yeah, would you say penalty or no penalty?
Thank God that those tickets only cost us €60. I'm only kidding, Mego. I love you really. Right, we'll start with the €400 Prime Seats ticket, followed by the €30 Fans First ticket, and see how they stack up side by side.
Sam, what kind of service did you expect for a €400 ticket?
Better than this, I'll be completely honest.
How did you expect to be welcomed upon arrival?
Well, I thought nothing less than a red carpet rolled out, perhaps a helicopter in the centre circle.
That's really the least you expect.
on arrival there, Alfie.
Light refreshments.
It's bottomless bar, that's what I've heard.
Neddy's on.
Yeah.
What kind of entrance would you expect for €400 ticket?
Nice little S-Class to the front door.
Yeah?
Yeah. Straight to the front door, not this shy.
Would you expect less queues?
A little bit less queues, yeah. Shocking.
In with the riff-raff. But to be fair, Adam did buy the tickets with us, so we can't complain about that too much. It was inevitable he'd be. Jesus, are we going to go through? Oh no, that's a separate queue. There's what you expected to be around Mego. These are just some of the food and drink options available with a €400 ticket. Popcorn and pretzels, like every other game. Beer. For a mere €400, you too can queue for up to 45 minutes for a watered down beer. Who could say no to an offer like that? And even maybe an overpriced bratwurst that's slightly worse than the one that you could get for a quarter of the price outside the ground. Tell us what the beer's like, whether it's luxurious beer.
Alfie, I'm not being funny. The keg's empty behind me. I queued for half an hour. I then had to go befriend some of our German friends.
German or Danish?
German friends. I didn't trust the Danish to get a beer. If I pay €400, I expect more. That's all I'm going to say. At UEFA.
But what's the what?
Tastes okay.
Tastes okay. Does it taste better than?
I say it tastes okay. The Bitburger that sponsored the Euros, I've tasted better. It's not fantastic.
Bitburger have not sponsored this video. I repeat, not sponsored this video.
Yeah, I'm not giving them a glow review anyway. But
yeah, if they had, they wouldn't be delighted. Probably, they didn't pay enough.
Yeah, not ideal. I'd expect more.
Do you have any food selection?
A lot of popcorn. I'm not a fan of popcorn.
Shame Shreya's in here, really.
Popcorn belongs at the cinema, not at the football. That's all I'm going to say.
But are we going to see a Hollywood performance from England today? That's the big question.
Honestly, I don't think we are. Yeah. I'd love to say...
You've got pessimistic after queuing for half an hour for a beer. Quick update, about 45 minutes to kick off. It's hotter than the sun. I'm dying. Not literally, I'm fine, but very, very warm. Adam just laid out an egg and it fried on my forehead. That's how hot it is.
Medium rare.
Just an update on the €400 ticket. I mean, he wasn't meant to be the target of the video, but there you go. Queuing now. How long would you say they've been queuing?
I'm going to say at least half an hour.
Minimum. I think Ned actually got there yesterday. What do you make of the wait? I actually forgot what you look like.
Melting up in here. And Meg had a bright idea, which really wasn't that bright. So
Which was?
let someone in front of us and he'd buy our beers, and he don't think he has, it just cleared off.
Would you say that's the kind of hospitality that you expect for a €400 ticket?
Definitely not. Waiting over 40 minutes for a beer.
There's the culprit who Mego thought would get him a quick beer. If this man ever offers to get you a beer quicker than you'd expect, do not trust him. It's kicking. Does this guy now wants his beer? Wants paying for the beer that he didn't get Sam? Is that what's happened?
Yeah, he gave €50 and it's €10 a pint. He won 4, so he's obviously owed €10. But he said he was going to buy us 2 pints, so he should have given us €60.
Was that nice and easy process? No hiccups?
It wasn't. I tried to be.
You're a fucking idiot.
He just came over and said this pint owes me €10. Pushed it in front of the fucking queue.
Mego, how would you say the service was for a €400 ticket in terms of getting a beer?
Dog shit.
Sam didn't help that situation whatsoever.
Tried to do something charitable, backfired.
I'm joined by my best friend Sam. How would you rate the seats out of 10?
Pretty good seats. The seats themselves aren't any more comfortable, but the view is quite good.
In fact, if anything, they're slightly less comfortable because ideal. There you go. They don't flip up, so it's quite awkward when someone tries to walk past, isn't it?
That's a fair review.
Yeah. But the view, what would you give the view?
The view's quite good.
I'll show the viewers.
I see Saka coming from this half, running down the right wing and banging one in top corner.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Out of 10 for the seats?
the pre-match ceremony.
We'll have a 9.2.
Out of 10 for the queue getting in?
Not great, and I thought it would be a better access to the bar as well. It took about 3 to 4 business days to get a pint.
That's a separate one. For the queue, out of 10, just to get in?
Yeah, also not great.
I reckon Ned's got some pretty strong views on this. So we start with the seats. I'm joined by my best friend Ned.
You know it. You know it.
The seats, out of 10, how would you rate them?
Good 8.5.
8.5?
Yeah, I don't know, a bit high. 9, I reckon.
9.
Just slightly higher would be better.
I was saying the only wrong bit, there's no padding.
Yeah, didn't even think about that.
So couldn't sound like more of
Definitely don't need a heat
more
seat
wrong.
at the minute though. That's
They don't flap up, which does make it a little bit awkward.
makes it a very dangerous trip hazard.
What would you rate the queues getting in? Here we go. I'm joined by one of my friends, Adam. What would you rate the view of the seats out of 10?
I'll give it an 8. I do like a bit of height in a seat.
Yeah?
And for €400, we've not got the height out, but we're in amongst it, aren't we? We're in amongst it.
If I did a shot every time Adam had said €400 today, I'd have died at about 8 a.m. To be fair to these tickets, we are very close to Christian Eriksen warming up. One thing I would say about the €400 seats, in fact the only real distinguishable difference as far as I can tell, other than they are quite good seats, is a lot more suits, like sports jackets, blazers, that sort of thing. There is a notable attire change. Should be said, not everyone is dressed smarter. I don't blame this geezer. It's absolutely boiling. I'll just say, these aren't the most expensive seats, or anywhere near. That's in hospitality, where they start at €1,250, and it's basically about half empty. Don't know if you can see that. What a waste. Make them a bit more reasonable. Look, loads. Can't call this a sellout.
So that's what you get for €400 a pop. Impressed? I will share with you my full thoughts on the pricing and the experience at the end, but for comparison, here's what a €30 fans first ticket will get you, this time for Slovakia versus Ukraine.
Update. It's raining. Definitely raining. It's very wet at the Merkerspiel Arena, or the Dusseldorf Arena. I don't know if you can see, my boxers are soaked, and not due to anything that I've done wrong.
Yeah. You are left? I'm left.
There's an interesting queuing system due to the rain. But you'd have to say a lot better with a €30 ticket, queuing wise, than yesterday with a €400 ticket. Practically no queue, and you've got pizza, is that one chips and something else? Got hot dogs over there, maybe you can see that. So, you know, yesterday it took 45 minutes to get a beer. Here, straight in. Might help that it's monsoon season, but you know, swings and roundabouts. Alright, I will say the €30 seats are slightly more rudimentary. like the other ones, they do fold, so they actually give you more room to get in and out. Alright? When life gives you lemons and all that. So, we've found our seats. We're not actually in those rudimentary seats that you saw earlier on. We are in just 2 seats together. That is basically VIP treatment. We're in a box. Yeah, look. It's like a box without the box. €30, you can't say fairer than that. Literally a few feet away from our €30 seats are what is normally the hospitality section at Fortuna Dusseldorf. So, you know, clearly, done very well. Luxury. Just discovered that the people sat in these seats also only paid €30 for what is, you can see it's boarded up now, but it's usually a box. €30 for those padded seats. I mean, look how that's our 2 seats. That's how close we were to hitting the jackpot. There are worse things going on in the world, as Ukraine fans know full well, but I'm just saying, it was a close call. Here comes the Ukraine national anthem. I don't know all of the words. We are 10 minutes in, 0-0, although it could easily be 2-1 to Slovakia. Slovakia have had 2 really good chances. Haraslin, this isn't really the subject of the video, but Slovakia's number 17. Haraslin? Ooh, Ukraine almost did it. Yeah, he plays for Sparta Prague. Looks a hell of a player. He's 28, he's obviously been around a bit, but he looks very, very good. Not for the first time this Euros. The hospitality section is incredibly empty. It was actually the same yesterday for England against Denmark. But, I mean, what do you expect when they charge €1,250? That's the starting price for a hospitality ticket for Ukraine against Slovakia. Yeah, that's what I would expect. Well, it might be pissing it down. They might have lost their opening game 3-0 and already be 1-0 down in this one. But Ukrainian spirits refuse to be dampened. I'll show you. They're still in excellent voice. I suppose they've had worse. We're on the attack now. Modric has misplaced that shot, and that is putting it very generously. He's misplaced it straight into Saturn. Das ist half-time in Dusseldorf. 1-0 Slovakia. I've polished off a kebab following the pre-game pizza.
To start off with, I had a doughy flatbread with a tomato passata, mozzarella cheese and spicy Italian topping, or as they described it, a salami pizza. That set me back €8, for which, in my view, you should probably be getting a full pizza or at least somewhere close to it, but by Euro 2024 stadium food prices, it's probably about right. It was pretty good, not too oily, and unlike I normally find with cheap or takeaway pizzas, the salami was actually pretty decent, not like that tasteless plastic stuff that you can sometimes get. If I were being hypercritical, which I am, there wasn't enough tomato or cheese for my liking, especially tomato, which left too much of the pizza that was effectively just dough, and personally, I also prefer a thinner base with the thick dough there only highlighting the upsetting dearth of cheese and tomato. I'll be honest with you, that is the second salami pizza that I've had at the Dusseldorf Arena during the Euros, and the other one was much more resplendent with both tomato and mozzarella, and much more enjoyable as a result. So, I'm happy to chalk that one down as just another bad day at the office. We all have them. Sometimes I make videos where I accidentally end up spending about a minute just reviewing a pizza. I followed that about half time with a chicken kebab with hot sauce and salad. This, it must be said, was excellent. The chicken was grilled in front of you, nice and fresh. I could skip the cucumber, to be honest, but that's just a matter of personal opinion, and I love a good spicy sauce. Solid 8 out of 10 as far as stadium food goes, maybe even a 9. It cost the same as the pizza, €8, but it was cash only, an inconvenience for some, but a stroke of fortune for me as I had cash, and it meant that the queues were much shorter. I would discuss the ice cream, but quite frankly, I'm still traumatised by how much it cost me. In the interest of fairness, I didn't have any food in Frankfurt with my €400 ticket, because I had no money left. No, not really. It was because, in large part at least, the queues were so enormous, I couldn't while still managing to record a video, or at least without missing kickoff, which I wasn't going to do. So, I think that the comparison in terms of food being quite good and none at all still has some merit. Not much, but some.
Right now, the diet's going about as well as Ukraine's Euro 2024 campaign. But there were signs of optimism and signs of life. So, see what happens. Also, we've hired up some padded seats, so we could be in. We could be in with the Ukrainians, but also in luxury in the second half. That noise tells you Ukraine have equalised right at the start of the second half. €30, and we're now in the seats from what is there's a Portugal flag there for some unknown reason, for what is usually a box. Ukraine are on the attack. That's my loss of focus. I do apologise. I know the seat's the most important thing here. But yeah, so our seats are actually better for €30 than they were before. And the atmosphere is probably better too. Adam, what do you make of the €30 seats?
Money well spent, Alfred. Best value ticket so far, I'd say.
Comfier than the €400 tickets?
I think I'd choose this, to be honest with you. No depth perception issues. Comfy backrest.
67th minute. My boxes have started to dry out. They're still wet. They are still wet, but they're taking Dovbyk off. I was going to say nothing to report in the game, but they desperately need a goal and they're taking Dovbyk off.
And Yarmolenko as well.
I mean, Yaremchuk's good, but you'd have thought they might throw them both on. Hey, this is why Sergei Rebrov gets paid the big bucks and I don't. And Yarmolenko going off. Saying at half time, if you had to guess who cost, whatever it was, €80 million and who was 47 years old between Yarmolenko and your man Mikhailo Mudryk, you'd probably get it the wrong way around. But Mudryk's still on the pitch. Ukraine have done it! 2-1. Who was I to question Rebrov substitutes? They've worked a treat. It's a lovely touch and finish, it has to be said. It was a great decision to take off Dovbyk, as I said at the time. Bringing on Yaremchuk in place of Dovbyk. Very good call, as I thought. Ukraine have done it. I hope this man doesn't fall. That doesn't look particularly safe. Ukraine have won their first game at Euro 2024. Slovakia have lost their first game. And it'd be fair to say the people around us are quite pleased about it. Update, still raining. Yeah, quite moist underfoot. It's not particularly promising. Just gonna wait under here for between 24 to 36 hours.
Right, so there you have it. That's what a €400 ticket gets you versus a €30 ticket at Euro 2024. Are any of you thinking what I'm thinking? That there was practically no discernible difference, and even if you think the seats were better with prime seats, and even then, I think that's debatable, that difference most assuredly wasn't worth €370. To be clear, in case there was any confusion, the price discrepancy isn't because England versus Denmark is a much higher demand fixture than Slovakia versus Ukraine. UEFA have flat rates for all group round of 16 quarter-final, semi-final and final tickets, with the exception of the opening game, which is more expensive, but every group game other than that one has the same pricing structure. So fans' first tickets at England versus Denmark were also €30, and prime seats tickets at Slovakia versus Ukraine were also €400. Basically, in fact not even basically, just factually, there is no difference between them other than seat placement, which, in Germany especially, really doesn't make much of a difference, outside of possibly the Olympiastadion in Berlin, which does actually have some fairly bad seats. All of the other stadiums in Germany are so modern and well constructed that I am yet to actually see a bad seat, up to and including even most of the seats that are listed as being restricted view seats and are discounted as a result. Even at the top row at Dortmund, which is a big old stadium, the view is fantastic and you don't feel that far away from the pitch. It's not like being on the top row at Wembley Stadium, which feels enormous, and where the top row, while still offering a decent view, does feel a considerable distance from the action. Maybe in other host countries you could justify the discrepancy in pricing between seating location. In Italy, I suppose about 70% of seats could probably be listed as restricted view, but in Germany, it's basically just a cash grab. UEFA know the demand for the Euros, especially in Germany, when there hasn't been a normal Euros which everyone could travel to since 2016, is going to be immense, and therefore, for a lot of games, they could charge extortionate prices and still manage to sell the tickets. However, If they list all of the tickets for between 200 to 500 euros, they'll get absolutely slated, so instead, they just have absolutely wild discrepancies between the cheapest and the most expensive seats, so that they can boast that we have offered X amount of tickets at affordable prices, while still making up for it by charging idiots like me, and this legend, those extortionate prices. The end result, of course, is that for less desirable fixtures, those unsold tickets from the blind ballot become very difficult to shift, and I've even heard it said the UEFA will downgrade them to Cat 1s, prime seats that is, or even Cat 2s, in the hope of getting rid of them. With hospitality, meanwhile, they've clearly overestimated the amount that people are willing to spend, with prices starting at 1,250 euros, and a great many, at virtually every game, going unsold. Some of those tickets will be sponsor tickets, where the sponsor or whoever ended up with them just hasn't bothered to turn up, but there are no games that don't still have plenty of hospitality tickets available, which is somewhat reassuring given the insane pricing. On a side note, watching Ukraine versus Slovakia was far more enjoyable as an experience than watching England versus Denmark, as well as being a lot cheaper, and there is something just incredibly relaxing about being a neutral at a football match and watching everyone else go through the torture instead of you. Anyway, thank you all for watching, hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video, hope that was the case. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. What did you think? Great value for money? Probably not. Yeah, and also, as I always say, make sure that you are subscribed and have notifications turned on, not just for this channel, HITC Sevens, but also my second channel, Alfie Potts Armour, both of which should be about to appear on your screens now, along with a couple of videos that you might fancy watching after this one. You could also find me on Twitter, Instagram, or Threads via the username @HITC Sevens on all three, should you wish to do so, and all of those links plus a whole lot more should be down in the video description below. Cheers.